Hello, Ethan.
You don't like Doctor Who, do you?
No, I watched the first new series
What, the
and
Christopher Eccleston one?
yeah, and I really liked it.
Yeah, it's great.
And then I saw
It's the best
first,
series.
I saw like the first two episodes of the David Tennant and went, nah, thanks.
Now, the first two episodes aren't that great. Season 2 on a whole, it's okay. There's some good episodes there.
I usually hear good Doctor, bad series.
Yeah, but season 4 is really good. He's got a really good dynamic with him and Catherine Tate. Like, she's really funny, but she's got like a really good character as well. So you haven't watched any of the Steven Moffat, Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi era then?
I watched the Christmas special where Matt Smith became an old man
It's so bad.
and then died.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
Doctor Who has sucked since 2010, since Steven Moffat has taken over, and it's been getting progressively worse, and it's been losing ratings, and now, the final blow...
It's losing a penis?
Yeah, the Doctor is losing his genitals.
Oh my god.
They've been building this up since Series 9. They brought the Master back, and the Master regenerated into a woman.
But isn't the Master a man?
Yeah, he was, but this is what... Everyone's up in arms about this. Like, most feminists are happy. Oh, what was the tweet that you read?
We got your Star Wars, we got your Ghostbusters, now we taking your Doctor Who's genitals.
It's like, there's nothing that we won't,
There's nothing we won't defile.
Such an appropriate word, because Star Wars sucks now. Yeah. Ghostbusters was fucking awful. And Doctor Who has been getting worse since Russell T Davies left anyway, so who cares? Fucking have it. I don't want it anymore. It sucks. But yeah, and what I hear is that the people who aren't fans of Doctor Who, but are anti-feminists and hate the bullshit and stuff, are saying, well, at least it's canon to the show. And it's like, it's only canon to the show because they've been building up to this. Like, they're like, well, we want the next Doctor to be a woman because of feminism or whatever, so we'll have the Master regenerate into a woman to show that you can do that. And then there's even an episode where, like, the entire arc of Series 10 is that he's getting back to Gallifrey, which was what the Day of the Doctor was about, the 50th anniversary special. Yeah. And he gets back to Gallifrey, and I was super excited. It's like, oh, this episode might not suck. But then he leaves Gallifrey after 10 minutes, and he never goes back. But there's even a scene where he's like pointing a gun at another Time Lord. It's just a bald guy. I can't remember what his name is. But he's like, what regeneration is, like 9 or something. He's like, okay, you've still got a few more, and he just kills him. And then he regenerates into a black woman, and her immediate response is, thank God, I don't know how men can deal with having so much testosterone. And I just turned the TV off. I've never looked back.
You mean you didn't go to one of those cinema events where you could see it on the big screen?
What, the Day of the Doctor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
this was after the Day of the Doctor.
Oh, okay.
Because I still had some hope at that point. And honestly, the Day of the Doctor is one of the better episodes that Steven Moffat's done. It's still nowhere near as good as like anything that Russell T Davies is good. The irony being that Steven Moffat is responsible for some of the best episodes of Doctor Who in the Russell T Davies era. But then when he took over the show, everything he made was just fucking garbage. Because the whole show revolves around the fact that the Doctor is amazing and everyone loves him, and it was never about that. It was about these stories involving these characters. And now everyone's just a Mary Sue.
Oh boy. My favourite kind.
And they've been building up to this for a while, and they're clearly building up to the second great cancellation of Doctor Who. Because I don't think anyone's really happy with this, apart from Tumblr feminists, right? And this is the thing that people don't realize, is I've been looking through the comments and stuff, and I want to say about like 40% of people are pissed off about it, and 60% are like, yeah, this is a good change. But what they don't seem to recognize is the 60% of people that are happy with it are already watching. But the 40% of people that are angry about it, they're going to stop. Which means that the ratings are just going to plummet.
Yeah.
Like, the first episode with this new Doctor, the Christmas special, everyone's going to watch it just to see what happens, and then the new series is just going to get no views, which is such a shame, because Steven Moffat's been like teasing us with the fact that he's going to leave for the last like 4 years, and we're like, oh, maybe he's going to leave next year, maybe the show will be good again, and then he leaves, and it's like he took a huge fucking fart and then he left the room, and then we're just left with the stink. And there's nothing like the new writer is the guy that did Broadchurch. When I first heard that, I was like, oh, Broadchurch is good. And then they cast one of the girls from Broadchurch. And I don't know who this girl is. What's her name? Like Julie Whitwaker or something?
I don't know. I just saw the newspapers all throughout the day. It's like, it's a new doctor. She's a female doctor. Internet nerds in a fit over their doctors being taken away. What am I supposed to trust a female doctor for? Where did she get her medical degree from? Some kind of medical school?
Well, she's gonna have to get renamed the nurse now.
Yeah. You've been demoted, doctor.
Nurse who? But no, like, yeah, I can see why most, like, and then the feminists going to use it the same way they did with the Ghostbusters. It's patriarchy! They don't want women in Doctor Who! It's like, no! You're changing the entire fucking dynamic of the show!
Yeah.
Like, back in the 80s, it was very clear in the lore that there was male and female Time Lords and Time Ladies. And the Doctor even travelled with a female Time Lord for a while, and that was really interesting. It was the Tom Baker series. And then, like, when Missy, the new master or whatever, she was being teased, and everyone's like, oh, it's the Rani, remember that evil time lady from the old season? And Steven Moffat's like, no, it's not Rani. I'm never going to bring the Rani back because she's not memorable. And it's like, you're telling someone that says, I remember Rani and like that character.
No, you don't like them.
You don't remember them?
I don't remember them. Who are they?
Stephen Moffat's such a cunt. I hate him so much. But I got a list.
Like, they've had female Doctor Who spin-offs with, like, well, they have had that one with Sarah Jane.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, that's really good. But she's not like a Time Lord. She's just a good character.
Well, she's not alive, so what can you do with her now?
Yeah, it was really sad, like, with her death, because I really liked that show when I was a kid. And that was the thing, like, with the Russell T Davies series, that you had, like, a kids spin-off for kids, you had an adult spin-off for gay people, and then you had a family show where the entire family could come together and enjoy something. And they all existed in the same universe.
What about the K9 spin-off?
Oh, God, yeah, I forgot that existed.
Was he in, like, America or something for that?
I think it was an Australian thing. It was really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we don't talk about that.
In Sarah Jane Adventures, wasn't he in, like, a portal? He was, like, just trapped in a portal or something?
Yeah.
So you just saw, like, just him looking through a portal at everything that was going on.
Yeah, every now and then they'd be like, oh, we gotta go and contact K9.
And they just go into the loft, and it's like,
everything happened in the loft.
Yeah.
But there was a couple really good episodes of that show where, like, the Doctor would appear and, like, help her on an adventure or something. Or they'd fight, like, one of the leftover costumes from a Doctor Who episode. Oh, we got a Slitheen because the costume was just lying around. But then when Steven Moffat took over, Torchwood was cancelled after a wee while, and Sarah Jane died, so that you can't really do anything from there.
Had the show already stopped, or was it still going when she died?
It was still being, I think, because they released the final season, but they weren't able to finish all the episodes because she hadn't finished filming some of them, which was really sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, they tried to do one spin-off called Class, but they really did not market it as a Doctor Who spin-off.
I have no idea what it is.
Exactly.
And I know about the K9 show.
And apparently it was terrible, so it had one season and it was cancelled. And that's, yeah. Steven Moffat's a hack fraud and I hate him.
Like, you hear that, Steven Moffat? What's your name even mean? Does that mean you're more fat than other guys?
Steven Moffat. I did some research.
Yes.
And there was a thing that was on the BBC website called 13 Questions with the New Doctor.
Wow.
So this is the interview that they had with her. What does it feel like to be the 13th Doctor? It's very nerve-wracking. It's been such a secret. Blah, blah, blah.
When they should have said, wrong, you're the 14th or 15th Doctor because of Matt Smith was the Doctor twice.
David Tennant was the Doctor twice.
Okay,
we don't talk about John Hurt.
I don't know Doctor Who.
Right.
I just know those things because I think it's funny to bring them up. Why don't we talk about John Hurt? Is it because he died too?
Yeah. He didn't die, he regenerated. Or an alien burst out of his chest.
Christopher Eccleston burst out of his chest and then grew into a new Doctor.
That would have been a much better regeneration.
Yeah, his big ears came out first. That was something I really liked. When David Tennant's like, I miss the ears.
Yeah. It's because, like, the first episode of the Christopher Eccleston season, he goes into Rose's house and he sees himself in the mirror and he's like, that's not bad, it could be better. And then he's like, the ears are enormous. And he starts flicking them. Yeah, Christopher Eccleston's, like, really it's such a shame he only did one series because he was so fucking good. And then David Tennant, he was really good as well, but I don't know, the series overall was just kind of meh. Like, the whole season 1, apart from like 2 episodes, was really solid. And then season 2 was meh. Season 3 was like really middling. And then season 4 was great. And then there were some good specials. And then Matt Smith's season was just awful. And all of his seasons were awful. And then they were like, oh, we've cast Peter Capaldi. And I was like, that's great.
Yeah.
Like, Peter Capaldi's such a good choice.
Yeah, because I was thinking like, oh yeah, he'll just bring a different like.
Yeah,
for me it just looks like Tennant and Smith. They just seem to have two similar style.
Yeah, they were very similar. Yeah. And it was like with Peter Capaldi, it's like bringing it back to the original series, like back in the 60s, where it was an old man.
Yeah,
and it was a good choice, and he was a great actor to play the character. But they gave him nothing to work with. Yeah. And they gave him really bad companions, so people stopped watching. There was an interview with him when he was first cast, and they're like, oh, how does it feel that you're going to play the Doctor? And he's like, oh, I've wanted to be the Doctor since I was like 10 years old. I remember watching the original season like back in the 60s and 70s, and they're like, oh, we brought this thing in that you actually wrote to like a Doctor Who like fan magazine back when you were 10, and they brought in like one of the quotes. He's like, I'd like to see this return in the series, and it was really cute, and he was like so embarrassed by it. And you really get the sense that like he loves this character, and he was super excited to play this character, right? This is the interview from the 13th female Doctor. Why did you want the role? Is what they asked her. She says, to be asked to play the ultimate character, to get to play pretend in its truest form. This is why I wanted to be an actor in the first place. To be able to play someone who is literally reinvented on the screen, with all the freedom that brings. What an unbelievable opportunity. And added to that, to be the first woman in that role. She barely mentioned anything about the Doctor character. All it is like, oh, it's a character. She even says, it's, well, like, where is it? She says, like, she doesn't know anything about the Doctor. Was like, this is one that really stood out to me, right? Question number 6. What does it feel like to be the first woman Doctor? It feels completely overwhelming. As a feminist, as a woman, as an actor, and as a human, as someone who wants to continually push themselves and challenge themselves and not be boxed in by what you're told you can and can't be, it feels incredible.
That's the exact thing I didn't want to hear from anybody in the world ever.
The first thing she says is, I'm a feminist and I'm a woman. She doesn't fucking say anything about, oh, the Doctor's a great character, it's a great series. She's just like, well, I'm a feminist and I'm a woman and I won't let anybody say what I can and can't do. And then like later on, where was it?
Who's telling you what you can and can't do?
Here's the next question, right?
What
do you want to tell the fans? She says, I want to tell the fans not to be scared by my gender. Because
don't be scared of my big floppy vagina.
Exactly. How are you scared by a gender? Yeah. I'm not scared, I'm annoyed. Because this is a really exciting time, and Doctor Who represents everything that's exciting about change. The fans have lived through so many changes, and this is only a new one, a different one, not a fearful one. Doesn't this sound like the start of like a new dictatorship?
Yeah. It sounds like she's taking over the world.
Like, this is what something like Hitler would say when he's taking over Germany. He's like, this isn't us. Don't be scared. It's like, what the fuck? We're not scared. We're annoyed. Because this is what the show is going to be. The entire character is now just going to be, oh, she has a vagina.
See,
she's a woman. She's capable of doing what the Doctor could do.
See, the next Doctor better like reel it all back and be like, man, fuck women.
Yeah.
That's just like what? Because they're not going to be able to say like, oh, well, you've just spent a whole series going like, well, this Doctor's all like, yeah, I'm a woman now. It's great. Men suck.
Peter Capaldi went on and on about how much he loved the Doctor and he wanted to be the character since he was a kid, right?
Yeah.
This is a question. What are you most excited about? I'm most excited about becoming part of a family I didn't even know existed. I was born in 1982. It's been around longer than me, and it's a family I could never have dreamed I'd be a part of. What she's basically saying there is, I've never fucking heard of Doctor Who before, but I got offered the chance, and as a feminist, I thought, yeah, I'll rub my greasy fucking hands all over that.
Well, not that exactly, but she's basically saying, like, it sounds like she's saying she has no interest in the franchise.
Yeah, like, a family I didn't know existed. Like, I didn't know what Doctor Who was until I was told...
That probably means more like the overall community. Like, she probably doesn't understand how big it was.
Mm-hmm.
So she's just using like some fancy wording to make it be like, yeah, there's a lot of people. And they're all gonna want me now, right?
How did Chris sell you the part? This is Chris, the writer of Broadchurch, the new writer of Doctor Who.
Okay.
We had a strange chat earlier this year when he tricked me into thinking we were talking about Broadchurch. and I started to quiz him about his new job in Wales and asked him if I could be a baddie, and he quickly diverted the conversation to suggest I should consider being the 13th Clooney, because that was the codename they were going by. So it sounds like she didn't even know what she was auditioning for. Chris was just like, you got a vagina. We're trying to push an agenda. You'll do.
So wait, is it Ocean's 13 or Doctor Who? What's this 13th Clooney?
Well, that's what I said, the code name, because they didn't want people to hear that she's going to be the 13th Doctor, so they talked about George Clooney or something instead. It's fucking dumb.
I feel like saying the 13th anything would make people think it's Doctor Who.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, like, she clearly knows nothing about the character. This isn't a choice that's done for furtherment of story or character. It's done to push an agenda. And this is the thing, right? Like, no one has mentioned so far that, oh yeah, we've really done this from a storytelling perspective, because we can really flip, like, what the stories have been and change the direction the character's going or whatever. Like, what's the 14th Doctor? What's he going to be?
Or she.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Or it. Or non-defined by non-binary, non-gender, non-human.
A black Chinese, like, disabled gay transgender Muslim. Like,
make it one of those, like, fat green things with the big black
Levine.
eyeballs. Yeah. Just make whatever.
But that's the thing, like,
what's it matter? If
the Doctor regenerates back into a man at this point, then all the feminists are going to be like, you've gone back on your word. You were progressive and now you're regressive. But if it regenerates into another woman, then all the people that stopped watching aren't going to start watching again.
Well, they might check out for a new Doctor, just in general.
Yeah, but that'll bring ratings up for one episode, and then they'll be like, oh shit, I'm not going to watch it, and then it'll go down. Like, look, I got the ratings for the series here, right?
Yeah.
This is overall ratings from the reboot of the season, from 2005 to 2017, right? Series 1 with Christopher Eccleston in 2005, 7.9 million people on average watched the show. Pretty good numbers.
Yeah.
Season 2, the one that you stopped watching at, 7.7 million, which is still pretty good. A little bit, like, 0.2 million drop off, which is fine. Season 3, 7.5 million, so getting more dropped off. But as I said, like, Season 3 is not great. Season 4, 8 million on average, so it's increased from the Christopher Eccleston season. So it's still going strong. Series 5, this is the first Steven Moffat series, first Matt Smith series, 7.7 million. So you've already decreased by 0.7.
Yeah.
Series 6, 7.5 million, going down. Series 7, 7.4 million, going down. Series 8 with Peter Capaldi, it opened at 7.3 million. Season 9, which is the one last year, 6 million.
That's a massive downturn.
This year, Season 10, 5.5 million.
Wow.
So we've lost, like...
Like, that's still keep a show alive, but that's not, like, you're not pushing for a season a year.
Well, this is what I'm saying. 40% of people are saying, I'm going to stop watching now because the show's already been getting bad, and, you know, I don't care about this political agenda anymore. 40%. You take 40% away from 5.5 million, which is already smaller than it's ever been. You've got, like, 2 million people that are still going to keep watching. They can't support that. Yeah. Like, Doctor Who is, like, the highest budgeted TV show on BBC. It's gonna get cancelled. Like, it's as bright as day. It's gonna get cancelled. And
that's why they had to get the budget cuts. They were like, can't afford a penis on this Doctor anymore. Gotta get someone a little cheaper. Budget cuts.
If you look back at that Steven Moffat, like, comic relief skit from the 90s, it's the best thing that Steven Moffat's ever written.
Yeah.
And at the end, he regenerates into a woman. He's like, look, I've got Dalek bumps. And she's like, no, they're breasts. Then she's like, they were going to get married or something in the skit. And she's like, oh, well, we'll just travel the universe together as best friends. Oh, and my trusty sonic screwdriver. And she brings it out and it starts vibrating. And she's like, oh, look, it's got a third setting. And it's really funny because it's like a parody of what that would be. Yeah. And now it's like, that's what it is.
That's real life now.
All the episodes, like, the first thing she's going to say when she regenerates is like, oh, thank God I've lost my testicles and all that awful testosterone. It's so much better being a woman. And then everyone in the galaxy is going to fancy the Doctor, and she's going to have none of it, and she's going to be capable and strong, or people are going to be like, a woman coming to save the universe? I've never heard of such a thing. And then she's going to be like, oh, I'm going to show you. I'm the Doctor.
Cancelled.
Oh, shit. It's going to get cancelled. It's as clear as day. You can't have her regenerate into a man, because then you're going back on yourself. You can't have her regenerate into another woman, because then you're just going to have more of a drop-off. The only thing you could do, which I could maybe see salvaging it, is have her regenerate into a black man. Because then it's like, well, you're still going for diversity, but you're going back to the actual dynamic of the show, which is this male alien thing traveling with a female from Earth. That's what the show's been going for 54 years. Like, if they had her regenerate...
not constantly.
No, yeah. Well, this is the second great cancellation coming, because with the old season, the viewers just dropped off and off and off to the point where, like, well, we can't support it, let's just stop. And that's clearly what's happening now. And it's only going to get worse.
Like, there'll probably be early season spike.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everyone will watch the first episode, be like, this is garbage, and then they'll stop.
I think it will maybe hold for, like, 2 or 3 episodes, depending on the quality. It'll maybe have more consistent than last season. Because generally, like, the Tumblr crowd didn't like Capaldi because he's an old man. They're like, oh, he's an old man.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of girls,
pretty boys.
Yeah, a lot of girls like Doctor Who because David Tennant and Matt Smith are attractive. Like, I love David Tennant. I've got a cardboard cutout of him in my room. He's a beautiful man. He's the only man that I would marry. Matt Smith looks like my uncle, and I don't see why
eyebrows.
Yeah, I don't see why anyone finds him attractive because he's got this weird, like, square-looking baby face.
Yeah, I know. It's like I
don't understand it, but people like him. They think he's attractive, and then they were disappointed that he's an old man now. Yeah. And now it's like,
which was exciting.
Well, they're not going to come back because it's a woman, because that's worse.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You might have them going like the whole, a female role model. I'll hang around. So they might get back some audience they lost while they'll lose some that they have now.
They'll get like a 5% of the audience they've lost, but they're going to lose 40% of the current audience.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. It's awful. Like, you'd think this is going to please feminists, right? Because that's what it's aimed at.
Yeah.
It's a woman doctor. But famous feminist Anita Sarkeesian, the biggest bitch in the world.
Oh, not Anita. Why? Why, Anita? Why haven't I killed you yet?
You gotta go to her VidCon panel and just be there and she'll scream at you.
Just sit in the front row and then just be like... I love those guys.
Yeah.
They're literally just...
They're heroes.
They literally just comment on Anita Sarkeesian videos and make videos talking about why she's wrong.
They've built entire channels on just proving her wrong on things.
And they just filled up the front row of a panel. And she screamed at them and made the entire panel awkward.
It says, I found this article, it says, while many feminists and liberals are applauding the decision to make the new Doctor Who a woman, feminist Anita Sarkeesian is taking issue with the fact that it's a white woman. Like, how dare we have a white actor in a predominantly white country?
Why do we have a straight white female... Wait, no, she said she's a feminist, so she's clearly gay.
Yeah, she's clearly a lesbian. That's another thing I was wanting to say, right? Clara. Fucking Clara.
I remember
Steven Moffat.
She's a pretty looking lady.
She is. She's maybe a fine actress, but in Doctor Who, she was just fucking awful.
Yeah.
Her character was Mary Sue. That was it. She was as strong and capable and smart as the Doctor, and she went into the Doctor's time stream and she saved all of the Doctors, but then in the very next episode, she was confused when the Doctor regenerated, even though in the previous episode, she'd met 3 of them. And then she gets a boyfriend, and her boyfriend dies, and she realizes she don't need no man. She's just going to be capable by herself. Everybody hated her. Most people hated her. This is what I'm saying. It dropped down from, like, it lost, like, 0.5 million viewers just because she was annoying. Or maybe Capaldi, but he was great. Like, he did a good job. But...
Yeah. But little girls don't want to look at an old man doing fun adventures.
But at the end of her series, she was killed. And I was like, I remember watching and I was had this, like, big happy grin on my face, like, she's dead! The bitch is dead! And then the next episode was one of the best episodes Steven Moffat has done in ages. Like, the Doctor's trapped in this castle and he keeps dying, but then there's a clone of him and he's there for like 5,000 years knocking this wall down. Really good. And then the next episode, he goes to Gallifrey. And they tease that at the beginning of the last one. You're like, oh, you're going back to Gallifrey. That's what the Day of the Doctor was building up to. And he gets there. And he's on Gallifrey for 10 minutes. And then he uses the powers to save Clara from death. And then Clara gets her own TARDIS. And then she gets this lesbian lady. and the Doctor forgets about Clara, and then Clara, she is now immortal, and she flies away in a TARDIS with a lesbian to have adventures.
That sounds like a thing that happened.
Yeah. And then in the next season, which is last season, I don't watch any of it because it was awful. My parents watched it, they said it's gotten really bad. I don't know why they kept watching it, but apparently the new companion, Bill, who's incredibly ugly and is a lesbian, because, you know...
Bill?
Yeah.
A woman?
Yeah, they give her a man's name.
Wow, is that an equality thing?
I don't fucking know.
You can't tell me what my name can or can't be.
Yeah, I'll have a man's name if I want. Fuck you. But yeah, she, in every episode, just brings up the fact that she's a lesbian. Like, you think about, like, Captain Jack from, like, a first season, like, he was a good character that happened to be gay.
Well, he'll fuck anything.
Yeah, exactly. That was part of his character. He was hypersexualized. But in Torchwood, he was specifically gay. And that's how you do it. Yeah? It's just a part of his character, but it's not his character. From what I've seen of Bill, her whole character is she likes woman. That's brave or something.
That's like me.
Like
my whole character is that I like women and don't like people of other races.
But the ending of season 10 is she gets turned into a Cyberman. Yeah. And I've seen comments on YouTube videos like, oh, please just let Bill die because her death will have no impact if she comes back to life. The next episode, she comes back to life as a Cyberwoman. And she's about to go away. It's the last time she's ever going to see the Doctor. And she's like, bye, Doctor. And then she turns around and she's like, wait. And the Doctor looks at her and she's like, hey, Doctor, you remember that I like woman? And he's like, yeah. She's like, okay. And she leaves. She just had to bring it up that she likes eating vagina. And then the Doctor dies and she's like, I'm going to be a Cyberwoman forever. I'm going to be dead. And then literally her lesbian lover comes back from the grave, travels across the stars, saves her, turns her back into a human, and then says, let's travel the universe together. And then her and her lesbian lover, they kiss and then travel the universe together. And I'm screaming, that's exactly what happened to Clara! Steven Moffat used the same exact ending for two characters.
Sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah, it's awful.
If it works once, just do it again.
I'm so glad he's leaving, but at the same time, it's like, well, it's not going to get much better. So, what do you think? Are you going to start watching Doctor Who now?
I'll watch the Christmas special when I'm having food at my uncle's house, and then I'll go home and forget that Doctor Who exists again.
Yeah, I'm going to continue to pretend
unless
that
it's
Doctor Who
maybe
exists.
good, but
It won't be.
Yeah, no. I'll always give it a chance. I'll give anything a chance once, except for gay sex.
Alright. Well, that's my opinions. I just want to... You ranted at me about Transformers for an hour. I rant about Doctor Who.
What do you think's gayer? Now hear me out here. Getting fucked in the ass, or giving a man a blowjob.
Ooh.
Because I feel like blowjob is so much more of like you were making sure this person just fills your throat with cum.
I was gonna say blowjob because like taking it in the ass is like you maybe get some enjoyment out of that.
Yeah, but like you can't get anything out of it unless you're just like
the only thing you get out of
it
is a
cum hungry slut.
Yeah, exactly. So if you could regenerate into a woman or a black man, what would you prefer?
Think about this. If I was like an Idris Elba black man, then I could kill with my heart. Yeah, I'd So if my options are like big buff black man or skinny white blonde lady, then I'd definitely go for Idris Elba.
Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I'd rather be Idris Elba. Yeah, big black cock. Fuck loads of bitches.
Kill with your heart.
Kill with your heart.
Yeah.
Go see The Dark Tower in cinemas whenever.
Must be soon, right?
Probably soon. I don't know.
I feel like
whatever
August
you do,
is gonna have a bunch of
whatever
movies.
you do, don't watch Doctor Who.
Watch the Christmas special and decide for yourself.
Yeah. Well, whatever. But whatever. If tell us what you think in the comments or email us at wastingtimepost@gmail.com.
Scream.
Yeah, scream. Post comments or emails all in caps.
If you think that cisgender white male Doctor Who is a bad idea and should be gone forever. I don't know. That's fine, I guess. For you.
Yeah.
Other people.
You're
might
wrong. You're objectively wrong, but whatever.
What if the next Doctor was a dog in a trench coat?
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that. Doctor Who.
Why does he even have to be a person?
Yeah, you just have an alien.
Because
That should be more diverse.
like, why? What's the deal with that? Like, Gallifreyans, why do they just look like people? Is that just what they are, or? Because I always seem to, I don't know why, but I always thought
they kind of brought it into like in the old season. It was just you can't have an entire show based around some guy in weird alien makeup.
Yeah, like,
but they brought it into the canon of the show where like it doesn't really explain it, but like they asked the Doctor after like this is during the Time War. That was one of the best things of the Russell T Davies series, where he's like he essentially did a Krypton where it's like the Doctor is the last member of his race and all this tragic backstory and stuff made it really interesting to watch. And they're like, Doctor, why do you have such a fascination with Earth? And it's because humans look just like Time Lords. And he even says it's like, I don't look human, you look Time Lord. And it's like, that's a neat concept. It's like Time Lords have been around since before the creation of the Earth, so, rant about a stupid fucking kid show where a man regenerates into a different man every time he dies.
Not true.
Well, it regenerates into a different person. Generates into a woman. Apparently she's not even that good an actor. I asked my mum, I was like, you watch Broadchurch? Is she good in Broadchurch? She's like, she just cries all the time.
A Doctor Who locks herself in the TARDIS and cries all the time instead of solving problems.
Well, no, she's a nurse. A nurse that cries all the time. Do you think she regenerates every time she has her period? Starts bleeding in her body, thinks that it's a problem, so it just regenerates?
What if they just get bored halfway through the series and say that it's a man who looks like a woman?
Yeah, they probably will. It's a transgender.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Because she doesn't have any big honkers that you have to show off.
Yeah, she's not got very big tits.
She's got an alright face.
Well,
but...
it's because she's a feminist.
Yeah.
If she had big tits, she wouldn't be a feminist.
Oh yeah, that's true.
The TARDIS is going to have to regenerate into a kitchen. The nurse travels around on a kitchen that's bigger on the inside and just cries the whole time.
I think that as soon as the Doctor regenerates, they're gonna like fumble around looking for their sonic screwdriver, and then they're just gonna like they can't find it.
No, she finds it and then she doesn't know how to use it, and then like a man takes it. Is like, oh, let me show you, let me show you, dear.
And then they're just like,
she'll use what Sarah Jane had, sonic lipstick.
Oh yeah, that was
Sonic
dumb.
mascara or something.
Yeah.
Sonic tampons.
She'll be like feeling around for it, and she'll be going like, "It's gone! It's gone! Your sonic screwdriver? No!" My penis.
My penis. Oh, he'd be super good because Time Lords have 2 hearts, so they probably
Probably have what, 2 vaginas.
2 dicks and 2 vaginas.
Oh. Do you think that mean there'll be more blood that would come out on the Doctor's period?
2 ovaries.
Yeah.
Oh jeez, she'll have 4 breasts. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
I'd start watching if she had 4 breasts. Like a weird thing from Total Recall. Weird alien with
3
boobs.
breasts.
Yeah, that's good.
Woo.
You just sound like a ghost. Woo.